talking to Ingrid, finding out her secrets regarding Monster Cookies. Cool. Well, yeah, I'm glad we're worshiping together today. We spent, we went a couple places. We went to Megan's folks' place in Peace River for Christmas, and then down to my mom's place in Kelowna for New Year's. And we just got back. Exciting times. Shh. All right. Yeah. So anyway, on Christmas Day, I was chatting with my mom on the phone. Hold this for the moment. Chatting with my mom on the phone, and she was telling me about how she was recently visiting with some old family friends of ours. I remember as kids, must have been about like Avit's age, maybe a bit older. I don't remember. It's a long time ago. Remember as kids, though, hearing that these friends were pregnant and they were expecting a baby. In our family, we just pretty much called everyone older than us uncle and auntie until a certain age, and then they became grandpa or grandma, somebody, it didn't matter. So I don't even know if these people are related to us, but we grew up calling them uncle and aunt. And they remember hearing that they were pregnant, and we were excited to meet this new little baby in the family. And the time got closer and closer, and as it almost got time for the baby to be born, we heard the news that her mom got really sick. She got a flu or something like that, like right about at the time. And so we kept praying, and she ended up having complications, and the baby was born alive. She was born alive and healthy, but almost immediately, just because of kind of everything that had happened there, she started having seizures. And I remember, like, my other friends and my sister and I, we were praying for our little baby cousin. We thought she was. Maybe she is. But at such a young age, all those seizures, they ended up having lifelong effects on her. She's still alive. She's in her 20s or 30s now or something like that. And she, when you see her, she has a smile like as big as the sun. But because of what happened, she's spent her whole life in a wheelchair. She's been unable to take care of herself. And she's just been living with the effects of something that nobody could have foreseen. And so my mom brought them up in a conversation on Christmas by telling me, you know that the dad has pancreatic cancer now, don't you? And I didn't. And my heart just dropped. Because I'm thinking of him, this quality guy, amazing guy. His family is just so sweet and kind. And I'm thinking of his wife. So that's a tough one to come through. There's different kinds of cancers. Some of them you can live with, and some of them don't take too long. And I also remembered, you guys might remember a couple weeks ago I talked about my dream. I remembered my own story with my dad. And man, just hearing my mom talk about our friend and the battle that he's facing, it just took me back to being a kid again. When we had that battle that we faced, and we prayed and we prayed and we prayed on behalf of our dad, and we just fought these like spiritual campaigns for him. And he spent days researching. I remember just traveling around the country, trying all sorts of different, surefire treatments. But in the end, as you know, we had to say goodbye to him. And yet somehow, despite it all, despite those deep wounds that were opened up in us like a quarter century ago already, a new kind of faith also came through it. And it was interesting. Not necessarily the kind of faith that moves mountains, not the kind of faith really that sets promises in motion. It was the kind of faith that knows in its deepest parts that its closest friend Jesus is there with you, walking beside you, walking with you. And this is a little different because I have my guitar with me, which is not different, but I'll use it today. I just wanted to kind of include a couple of songs, and it reminds me of one that meant so much to my own dad during his journey with cancer. And it'll go something like this, maybe. I did this one, we were up in, Peace River last Sabbath, I think? Yeah. And I definitely did this in way the wrong key, because late night key prep is different than Sabbath morning reality. We'll try a different one today, though. It might have more of a blessing effect to it. Okay. The Father has a plan, though it's hard to see it now. You feel you're walking all alone, but He is there, no doubt. When the storm around you rages and you're tossed to and fro, when you're faced with life's decisions, not sure which way to go, stand still and let God move. Standing still is hard to do. When you feel you've reached the end, He'll make a way for you. Stand still and let God move. When the enemy surrounds you and the walls are closing in, when the tide is swiftly rising and you wonder where He's been, friend, there never was a moment His arms weren't reaching out, and you can rest assured and be secure. God is moving right now. Stand still and let God move. Standing still is hard to do. When you feel you have reached the end, He'll make a way for you. Stand still and let God move. The answer will come, but only in His time. Stand still and let God move. Stand still and let God move. And so, yeah, that one's still pretty special in a lot of ways. It's something that kind of just sticks with, that message stays with you. Because a lot of times you don't feel like you have the strength to do anything, but you feel like you have to. But the truth of it is that sometimes God just asks you just to be there, and He'll do the lifting for you. So even though God chose not to heal my dad in this lifetime, what I learned from walking with Jesus since then, and just standing still and letting Him move on my behalf, is that one day I realized, man, He will be healed, but in a more permanent, more complete sort of way. And when that happens, my dad and you and me and our friend from Kelowna as well, man, we're never going to get sick again. It's going to be this whole new reality. It's really cool. Megan and I and our moms this past year, we've been reading through the Bible. Not like this past 2 days, but like all the days before that. We've been reading through the Bible in its entirety, looking to find Jesus, kind of wherever we can. And as it's been really cool. And recently we finished the book of Hebrews, because it's close to the end. And as we read it, something really beautiful stood out to me. It's from chapter 10, starting in verse 32. In the NIV, it says, "Remember those earlier days when you'd received the light, when you endured in a great conflict full of suffering. Sometimes you were publicly exposed to insult and persecution. Other times you stood side by side with people who were treated like that. You suffered along with those in prison, and you joyfully accepted the confiscation of your property because you knew you yourselves had better and lasting possessions. So don't throw away your confidence. It'll be richly rewarded." He says, "In just a little while, He who's coming will come and won't delay. And my righteous one will live by faith, And I take no pleasure in the one who shrinks back. But we don't belong to those who shrink back and are destroyed, but to those who have faith and are saved. And when I read that passage, even though the author he's clearly talking more about persecution and loss of property and that sort of thing, money, security, reputation, that sort of thing. When I read it with all my heart, it just made me think of the ones who are fighting their own battles right now, of survival, and of the ones who we've lost and the ones kind of left behind, and just trying to hold it all together. And like I said, it's been like a quarter century since my story happened, and we fought my dad's battle. But when I heard to remember those earlier days when you endured in a great conflict full of suffering after you'd received the light, I'm like, man, that part is my story. It's like literally my story. Our conflict was absolutely full of suffering, but it was also full of light. Because in those moments when you hurt the most and you need God the deepest, it's in those moments that you connect with him on a level that you've never experienced before, and you'd never imagined possible. It's when you can't walk on your own that you finally let him carry you, and you discover what it's like to be held by Jesus. And it's not an isolated incident that happened to me either. It's a biblical idea. The next chapter in Hebrews 11, is just full of people who've dealt with this, who've lived through that. The author takes us through this walk, kind of, that some people call the Faith Hall of Fame. And when it comes to faith, like, these were the best of the best. You have Abel offering the true sacrifice that God asked for. We have Enoch, who is taken from this life without even dying so that he would never experience death, because he was just walking so close with God. You have Noah risking everything and dedicating almost like a century of his life to build this giant boat that could save humanity, or it could just sink his own reputation. It'd be a huge waste of a century. I've wasted hours before. But man, like the risks that they took. There's Abraham just pulling up stakes and taking his family on a journey that who knows where it was going to end. Only God knew, and he did it because God asked him to. These are the heroes of the faith, and yet in verse 13, it says all these people were still living by faith when they died. They didn't receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance, admitting that they were foreigners and strangers on earth. People who say such things show that they're looking for a country of their own. If they'd been thinking of the country they left, they would have had opportunity to return to it. Instead, they were longing for a better country, a heavenly one. Therefore, it says, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. Man, I don't know where your heart is, but when I hear that, I'm like, man, I am longing for a better country. And I imagine many of you are too. And these faith heroes were as well. And the Bible says that even though they didn't receive the things that were promised, yet they died in faith anyway. And what is faith? Well, verse 1 tells us that faith is confidence in what we hope for. It's assurance about what we don't see. These heroes died confident in that better country. Absolutely assured that one day they'd go to their real home to be with Jesus forever. And they died in peace then. Just not yet having received the promised homeland, but seeing them and welcoming them from a distance. And this is where we find ourselves today, living in the not yet, but the soon to be. Here's another little snippet of a song. Those golden streets that will be under my Father's feet are realer than the final breath he took before he told us all goodbye. and his loving wife played piano till the day she died. They'll reunite with a bond the selfish gates of hell cannot untie. So come, Lord, come. Come, Lord, come. Only what's unshakable remains in this great divorce. Come, Lord, come. Come, Lord, come. Only what's unshakable remains in this high country. And so C.S. Lewis, he wrote about this concept, this idea, in a book he called The Great Divorce. And to explain it, he told a story of a man who rode a bus to heaven. And when he got there, just everything seemed difficult and like translucent in a way, and not even real. But the longer he stayed there, the more real it became, and the more unreal the things that he'd held on to before became. And as he explored that high country, he encountered other people in that journey. And some people had embraced this new experience and were just, everything was becoming more real to them. And others had one or two things that they just couldn't let go of. Some of it was, reputation or some of them were wealthy, and like there's just these different things that they just couldn't let go of. But it wasn't until you released the things that you held on to that the high country became real and beautiful and just worth everything. And Hebrews 12 talks about this. The author says, you haven't come to a mountain that can be touched and that is burning with fire, to darkness, gloom, and storm, to a trumpet blast or such a voice speaking words that those who heard it begged that no further word would be spoken to them. But you've come to Mount Zion, to the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem. You've come to thousands upon thousands of angels in joyful assembly, to the church of the firstborn whose names are written in heaven. You've come to God, the judge of all, to the spirits of the righteous made perfect, to Jesus, the mediator of a new covenant, and to the sprinkled blood that speaks a better word than the blood of Abel. In other words, in short, you haven't come to a mountain where you've seen God before. Your new country isn't the same place where you've been to before, a place with fire and darkness and gloom and storm. It's a new country. It's a high country on the Mount Zion in the city of the living God. And in this new high country, you encounter just these thousands upon thousands of angels living in peaceful, joyful, it says, fellowship together. That's so cool. You come to God, to Jesus our mediator, and to the sprinkled blood that makes this whole thing possible. And I suppose the question then, if you're going through that progression, is just like, well, what is my thing? What is the one thing that I'm holding on to that's distracting me from Jesus? And the problem is, it's rarely something that's just easy to get rid of. Like, it's not usually like polyester or Turkish delights or like too much Weather Channel. Like, that's not usually the thing that gets between you. Like, it's more like financial struggle or looming expectations or like reputation management or even good things like sometimes hobbies or like self-improvement. Whatever it is, though, that thing becomes something that distracts you from Jesus' voice. It's just something that takes time away from following God's promptings, because that thing is something that feels more urgent and necessary to you. You know what I mean? But the thing is that thing isn't something that's going to last. It's something that'll fade away one day. It'll wear out. Eventually that thing is going to disappear, or one day it'll be shaken away. Hebrews 12 continues, it says, see to it that you don't refuse him who speaks. At that time, his voice shook the earth, but now he's promised once more, I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens. And then the author says the words once more indicate the removing of what can be shaken, the created things, so that what cannot be shaken will remain. Therefore, he says, since we are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, let us be thankful and so worship God acceptably with reverence and awe, for our God is a consuming fire. Man, one day God's voice is going to shake the heavens. And all those things that seemed important that we're just struggling to let go of, they're going to fade away. They'll be shaken away. Isaiah compares these things to filthy rags. And the original language, as I'm sure you know, it adds a lot of emphasis to this idea. And maybe in your life you're feeling a shaking already. Maybe the things that once seemed important to you are kind of fading into the background. And if that's you right now, like I know it's hard and it hurts. And you're probably hurting right now. And sometimes it's hard to see past the shaking to what remains. But the cool thing about this verse, this passage, is that what seems like shaking, it says is God speaking. It's God's voice. And after Jesus' baptism, the voice of God spoke from heaven, remember? And some people recognized it as God, but a lot of people thought it was the sound of thunder. In John 20, some Greeks came to see Jesus, and while he spoke to them, the same thing happened again. Some recognized God's presence, while others thought it was a storm. In the shaking of our lives, it might feel like it's storming all around us. And if we look again, we'll find, though, that God has been with us all along, refining us and chiseling us, shaking away the things that keep us from recognizing his presence and his kindness and his eternal love. And he's preparing us to live in that high country and to give us that life more abundant. You saw me first. You let me in when I was at my worst. The moment when I heard you say my name. It's the first time in so long. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. You are the voice that calms the storm inside me. Castle walls that stand around me, and all this time my guardian was you. You are the light that shines in every tunnel. There in the past, you'll be there tomorrow, and all my life your love was breaking through. It's always been you. It's always been you. It's always been you. And so, as we continue to walk in this journey of our lives, it's inevitable we're going to cross deserts. And we're going to traverse wildernesses that will force us to recognize that there has to be more than this. You and I, we're going to lose along the way. Yes, Pastor, amen. We're going to lose battles. We're going to lose loved ones. We're going to lose pieces of us. And we'll be faced with the truth that this world is not our home. It's not our country. But when we realize this, we won't find ourselves lost either. We've already been told that we're from somewhere else. We're from a high country. And when we get through that shaking, we're going to find that it's just been the voice of God calling us to closer, deeper, and truer relationship with him, a truer connection. And we're going to find that we aren't losing everything because the things which remain are the unshakable things, the unshakable kingdom. And one day soon, we're told that there will be a small cloud on the horizon, right? The size of your hand, maybe smaller. And it's going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And as it gets closer, you're going to be like, whoa, that's Jesus. and those thousands upon thousands of angels it was talking about in joyful fellowship and assembly, all coming to take us home to that new and the better country. As I look around me, man, I see how just chaotic and crazy stuff is, man, even today, and how the love of many has grown cold. And we seem more than happy to worship what is anti-Christ and call it Christianity, right? It seems obvious that it can't be much longer. It can't be much longer. And like those who came before us looked forward into the distance and could see that better country ahead of them, man, I see it too. Hopefully that doesn't mean anything about my longevity of life. But I see it too, and I think many of you can see it as well. And man, I don't know. It's easy to just let life go by because it's going to force its way past you anyway. But sometimes you stop and you're like, whoa, I feel like it's close. What is a church service without a Johnny Cash song, though, right? It's okay. You can fire me. But here's one last song. This is one that, man, we thought it was so many different people. But yeah, we heard it as kids as well, and we're like, it was another one kind of like that first one that kind of brought us through a little bit. We used to, yeah, anyway, whatever. It's enough talking. By the way the land is laying, I think I'd be safe in saying that over the next hill we'll be home. It's a straight and narrow highway, no detours and no byways, and over the next hill we'll be home. From the prophets I've been hearing, I would say the end is nearing, where I see familiar landmarks all along. By the dreams that I've been dreaming, there will come a great redeeming, and over the next hill we'll be home. And by the tide is taken, I'd say there's no mistaking that over the next hill we'll be home. Well, there's a place that we are nearing that too many have been fearing, and over the next hill we'll be home. And when we get there, we're all hoping that we'll find the front gate open, and there'll be a refuge from the coming storm. For the way's been long and weary, but alas, the end is nearing, and over the next hill we'll be home. And turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. Yeah, the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. Jesus, we thank you for, thank you for being with us all along, God. Thank you that you've been preparing a place for us, God, in our home our real home. And we just thank you that even in these times of struggle and chaos, that you've always been there with us, that our guardian's always been you, and that well before there's no strength left, you've called us to many times to just stand still and watch you move for us, to hold us and to carry us through. And we just pray, God, we want to pray a blessing on this new year. Maybe a time when our faith and our hearts grow so close to you and come alive like never we've experienced before. And we just thank you for being a God who hasn't forgotten us, and a God who is coming back soon too. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, let's do one more together song. And then, I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. Just want to thank everyone who's been a part of this service as well. You guys for being here today. The world famous Chakas in the back, making stuff actually work. If you've seen when I've been in charge, stuff seems good sometimes, and then you look at the live stream of, say, I don't know, the Christmas pageant, and you get a whole hour to learn about with the announcements instead of actually seeing our beautiful children. So thank you to them. Thank you, Kim. Thank you to the teachers and Kalina for helping out, and for everyone who always helps out, man. Elke teaching Sabbath school. Nothing happens without you guys, so I really want to affirm you guys, and thank you. And stop talking also. There's a place I retreat and shake the dust off of my feet. The noise turns down, I hear you speak. It's a different kind of peace. It's a deep calling to deep. Sit down across from you. Commune just like we do. With my eyes locked on the King, it is well, my soul it sings. It's a simple kind of free when I'm with you and you're with me. So let your love come take lead. I give up controlling things. When I'm with you, I can be weak. You're my source, my shield, strength that carries me. With my eyes locked on the King, it is well, my soul it sings. It's a simple kind of free when I'm with you and you're with me, my Jesus, my Jesus. I can't get enough of my Jesus, my Jesus. I need you more and more. Every day I will be found right here, a secret place. And as time goes by, as seasons change, I will be found right here. Your love so safe. I need you more and more. Every found right here, a secret place. And as time goes by, seasons change, I will be found right here. Your love so safe, with my eyes locked on the King. It is well, my soul it sings. It's a simple kind of free when I'm with you and you're with me. With my eyes locked on the King, it is well, my soul it sings. It's a simple kind of free when I'm with you and you're with me, my Jesus, my Jesus. I can't get enough of my Jesus, my Jesus. And well, thank you guys so much for worshiping with us together. You're welcome to stay and fellowship for a while. There's probably still hot drinks left if you'd like. And yeah, have a happy Sabbath and happy Merry New Year.